topic. I heard you. So again, what is the purpose of a cover letter? The purpose is to draw the recruiter in. Now, one of the things that I think happens with people is they spend a lot of time on cover letters, but they haven't really done their research. Sending out a bunch of cover letters and newsletter and resumes into the black hole can be very, very depressing. So again, that's why we really want you to have a targeted approach to your job search, which we'll talk a little bit more on Tuesday. But just applying to things online is not the way to go. You've probably heard the statistic that 80% of jobs are not even posted. There's lots of ways to get out there, but the ones that are posted, everybody's applying to. So if you find something that you really want to apply to, or you hear about something, the best thing to do is to see if there's anyone within the organization that you can talk to before you even write that letter. I see you, Sarah. Got it. We're testing the Q&A, so it is working if people do want to send questions. So think about that first. Do your research. I know sometimes it says not to contact the employer, which is why you want to do your own research on LinkedIn, which you'll learn a little bit more about. So, but first off, find out who you can send it to. Try to avoid sending it to a hiring manager. Find the actual name. So that is really important, to find the name if you can. So do that first. Address it to a person. That is a really helpful way to get them to look at it. And then let's talk about the format. So there's a really clean format that I recommend called you, me, and we. And I'm going to talk you through those. What I've noticed a lot of people do is they start off by talking about themselves in the very first paragraph. And I don't recommend that. You want to show that this is a targeted company that you're really excited about, that you know something unique about. Maybe you know some people there. Maybe someone has referred you to that person. So let's use an example like Alpha Media. Alpha Media is a local radio station. They own a number of radio stations up here in Portland. And I have some good friends that work there. So a lot of times they'll send me emails and they'll say, Linda, I'm looking for somebody like this. We haven't posted it yet, but if you have anybody, let me know. So you want to say, Alpha Media, okay, I'm going to write to them because I love music and I know about their station. And Linda Faveros recommended that I talk to them. So the first paragraph's all going to be about that organization, how you heard about the organization, what you love about the organization. So really, it has no effect on you. You can find some things on their website, but I encourage you to dig a little deeper. For here in Portland, whatever the local trade publications are, there's a local newspaper. If there's something, anything online, try to find something. If you're an architect, maybe they've just built a building that you drive by every day or you ride your bike by every day and you just love it. So think about that. That's that first paragraph, and that will hook them. Again, it has to be very brief or you won't get their attention. The second paragraph is you want to take a couple of the things that you've worked on in your resume and really develop them. So if you look at the job description, what are the 2 experiences that you've had that you think are most relevant to that? You want to just make that case of that instant value that you can provide them. So analyze that resume, your resume, compare it to the job description, and go into depth about that, because you can't really do it with just a bullet. So talk about how that experience will support what they're looking for. You want to show that instant value when you're just reading the cover letter, that, oh my gosh, he or she really gets it. She understands what we're looking for. She has some relevant experience. One thing that I also noticed that happens in that middle paragraph that you don't want to do is you don't want to take anything away. The one word that I like to get out of everyone's vocabulary is the word just. So if you say, oh, I just don't have this, or I just don't have that, or that's not the point of the cover letter. Talk about what you do have, what you do bring to the table. And again, using the Alpha Media, maybe you worked at the local radio station down in Eugene, or you planned events. A lot of times they look for event people, or they have salespeople. So maybe you did some customer service and you sold. So again, whatever it is that they're looking for, that's what you talk about. But probably only 2 experiences in that cover letter is really what you want. So the things that are most relevant. Again, it's just to get you to the interview. You can't say everything about yourself, just a little bit. And then the last one is the we. Again, you're tying the pieces together. So maybe reference something that again, why you like this organization, your most relevant experience, and why you would love to continue the conversation to discuss further about the job and your qualifications. So just kind of lay that out there that you want to talk to them about it. Sometimes people are really comfortable doing this, sometimes people aren't, but sometimes I say, I'll follow up in a couple weeks just to make sure you've received all of my materials. It gives you that window to contact them again by saying that you're going to just make sure that they've received all of their materials. So that is a simple format. People that do that, they do get the calls back. So try to if you focus on not focusing on yourself in that first paragraph, but waiting till the middle, I think that is really key. You just have to do a lot of research and be really targeted with what you're doing. So we're going to do an activity, and I'm going to review these questions as you're doing your activity. So the me paragraph is the paragraph that you can probably utilize the most. Your first paragraph is going to be tailored, obviously, to the organization, and same with the last. But the me paragraph, if you're targeted in your application process, hopefully you can use that one over and over again. Now, this takes some time to write. I just want you to kind of take a stab at it, and then for your homework, you can finish on it. But think about an employer or a job that you've been considering, something that you're really attracted to. Maybe you have a job description in front of you right now that you could look at. What could you, develop in that me paragraph that would be most relevant to that opportunity? So, and I'd like you to spend a little bit of time looking at that while I review these questions, and then we'll do the Q&A. Okay, I'm gonna switch my screen back over. No, actually I'm not. I will. Let me just do my final tips, and then I'll answer your questions. How about that? So my final tips, and then we'll answer your questions. Remember, when you're writing the cover letter, remember what is in it for them. So keep that as your focus. It's not about you, it's about them. You want to stay positive, cordial, respectful, and natural. Again, you want it to be your authentic self. Courtney talked a lot about that. This is part of your brand too. This is a way for them to see your written communication skills. Again, stay positive and respectful. Rely on nouns and verbs, less adjectives and adverbs. So really use active voice. Try to stay away from that passive voice. And then edit. Again, so many mistakes are made in cover letters. I was working with an architect, and I read this, and this never happens. I'm reading her cover letter, and I'm thinking, I said, oh my gosh, my red pen didn't come out. That never happens. And she said, oh, thanks. I've edited it 20 times. Now, I don't mean that to sound daunting, but it was impressive. I mean, it was very compelling. And unfortunately, she did get a job with an architecture firm. So it does make a huge, huge difference to edit that so carefully. And less is more. It's hard to write a succinct letter, but you want to strive to keep it to 2/3 of a page if you can. Again, with short paragraphs, it's just more likely to be read, and someone doesn't say, oh, this is too overwhelming. I don't think I can do it. So those are my final tips.